Hello, everybody. I am your host, Nick, the Duke of Hobbies, for Around the Board. Players on Around the Board will participate in 2 rounds. Each round, players will debate a specific topic for 10 minutes. During the round, I can award or remove players points for providing valid input on the topic. Players who take too much time, talk over other players, or go off topic will get muted. During this time, they can't participate, and another player can continue the discussion. There will also be 1 bonus round between the 2 rounds for bonus points. After round 2, the player with the most points gets to take the board and talk about anything they want for 2 minutes. So let's go around the board and meet today's guest.
Hi, I'm Rhett. I'm affectionately known as the Baron of the Berg.
Hi, I'm Jack, known as Farfree.
And this is Dan, PG-13. Oh.
And I'm Scott, also known as Savin. A long story behind that.
Also known as Roger Roger.
Yeah, also known as Roger Roger.
All right, players, for the first round, our first topic today has the new rules to the tractoring a ship, fix the Nantex. And on my count, we're going to start here. And 3, 2, 1. Jack, start us off.
I don't believe it has. I don't actually believe the Nantex itself was broken in the first place. I believe the problem was ensnare. An EPT that is massively expensive on high pilot skill ships, but is massively powerful on Sunfac, is massively powerful on the high initiative, high agency Nantex, but is not as good on anything else, and not available on anything else. Other than that, what do you guys think?
I tend to agree. I've long contended that Ensnare was the ace and Sunfac was the upgrade. Because I think it's just like, it doesn't really matter what Sunfac's ability is, it's just his pilot skill.
I literally don't know what Sunfac's ability is.
Sunfac allows you to roll an additional die if you're attacking a tractored ship, which is important and sort of where I was going to go, because I think Sunfac and Ensnare were never broken. It was 100% the fact that tractoring was broken. And yes, it was a step in the right direction, the step they took, but it wasn't the right step in that direction.
Yeah,
the fact that they simply just overlooked the simple solution, which is you spend the tractor token to move the ship. That way, you can't have it both ways. You can't. If that was the fact, Sunfac couldn't have his cake and eat it too. He couldn't both get his extra die, which is his pilot ability, and move a ship so that they weren't shooting at him.
Yeah,
Hold on, Rhett. Let's get Scott get in this game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dan there. I think there needed to be more change to the tractor mechanic. Unfortunately, the Nantex without Ensnare really become hindered because that's their primary ability. Otherwise, they're going to be tractored anytime they want to do that barrel roller boost, which obviously is going to leave that tractor token on them. So I think they almost needed that built in, although I feel the same way about droids and struts, but that's a different topic for later. But without Ensnare, the Nantex is really a lackluster ship, in my opinion. I think we really need Ensnare on them. And with its new point costs, I cannot justify putting Sunfac in a list at all. It's just too expensive.
Ooh,
I don't think that's true.
Go ahead, Rhett.
I think that with the amount of bid that Sunfac has traditionally been able to leverage and do well, it's not going to matter that Ensnare went up that many points. It's just not. Like, it's still going to be good. The primary reason that we haven't seen much of it in competitive circuits is that it's not hyperspace.
So I don't think that's the reason we haven't seen it in competitive circuits. It's because yes, it's not hyperspace, but we haven't seen him because he's so vulnerable to variance. Yes, he can do a lot of moving. He can do a lot of super ridiculous jank with swarms or with aces. But the bottom line is that if he blanks out, he just dies. Boom. No more Sunfac.
Yeah, but
And that doesn't let you survive a tournament, because that's gonna happen at some point across 6 rounds. You're gonna blank out.
Yeah, and I see they both up the points and they changed the tractoring. And I think that's what really has hurt Sunfac overall, because now he's super expensive because you don't take him without ensnare. You just won't. And now his ensnare is not as good, and you're spending a boatload of points on that combination to make him work.
Now hold on. Let's get back to topic though. How's this? Even though it's Sunfac that you guys are focusing on, let's get back to the rule change though. So you got to remember what the rule change, which was the player that you tractor can rotate and take a stress to do that too. So
I think was a great change, because
I don't think that was a great change.
All right, hold on. Let Scott go, and then you, Rhett.
Yeah.
I think it was a great change, because now there's a couple of things that happen. One, if Sunfac was trying to put somebody in arc, they have the chance of rotating to actually shoot back. Two, if Sunfac puts somebody where they could go off the edge of the board, they have the ability to remedy that situation, which they didn't have before. And we all know having the ship put in a position where it's immediately going to fly off the board next turn, no matter what you do, is one of the worst feelings in the game. And, overall, I think those two changes across the board helped fix tractoring to an extent. Because now, no matter, it's not just a Nantac issue, it's fixing tractor across the board.
But if I can put mine in, I know Rhett was going to go next. I'd love to take a stand after Rhett.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rhett, first.
Well, then I'll go after Dan.
I really think, I mean, first of all, I'm less sympathetic to the idea of, going off the board from a tractor being a big problem, because they don't get the bank, so it's relatively easy to account for being tractored when you're flying, so as to not put yourself in a position where you'd be tractored off the board. But in general, I don't think that taking a stress to rotate gives you enough counterplay when most of the time what they're doing is they're throwing you on a rock.
Right.
And
so,
I mean, it.
All right, hold on. Let's get Dan go.
All right, so I agree with that. That's sort of a core point that I was going to touch on. But the other two factors, although this is a little bit off topic, yes, it addressed some of the problems with the Nantex, but it penalized every other ship in the game that has a tractor ability to a point where, I mean, they weren't overwhelming. The Nantex was. The Nantex was a problem. The quad jumper wasn't a problem, and the quad jumper now is never ever going to see table time. And that the fact that a rule change designed to balance out one ship just deleted another ship from play is a major problem.
I don't think we're going to not see the quad jumper, but let's go to Jack here.
I was going to say pretty much the same thing Dan was saying there, that the quad jumpers and the Shadowcaster, both of which are among my favorites, now are not playable. And, I mean, I did well with a Ketsu list, but the number of times I had to bring rocks, which we'll get into that later apparently, but a ship that had a really powerful ability now has the quad jumpers are the one that's going to be the most hurt by any change to tractor. And I've been in a position where, with a quad jumper, I put a defender in a position where it then performed its maneuver off the board. I didn't enjoy doing that, but I knew he was doing a 4K, and I knew a 4K wouldn't clear if he had a boost on it. So I don't think that they needed to change it the way they changed it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No, those are good points. Scott, you got anything else to add?
Just that, yeah. I'm not sure that it fixed the Nantex in a way that was beneficial to the game overall. I think they should have taken that more into account on a way, both point-wise and mechanics-wise, to fix the Nantex without breaking anything else, like, as I said, quad jumpers and tractor in general.
And to me, the big key here is we've talked about Sunfac. We haven't talked about any single other Nantex, and the real problem wasn't necessarily tractor mechanics purely. It was tractor mechanics plus I6 plus his ability. So Chertek, who is not I6, who has a similar ability that benefits from the target being tractored, wasn't broken, wasn't running tables. It was just the fact that you could and had to take this massive bid with Sunfac, and then all of a sudden everyone else who shares some kind of ability with him, whether it's chassis or core ability like tractoring, is penalized by this change in rules.
Yeah, I've only ever flown Sunfac once, and that was at that event we had with the guys in Ohio, because I would rather put one of the lower level generics in with Snare than Sunfac any day, because the point costs make it fit better in Snare when I'm flying the.
All right, hold on there. Okay, so that's the end of the round, but I don't know. I'm gonna jump in real quick with a quick statement. Sunfac is worth it.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of were, it was good debate going on here so far. So we're gonna take a small break from this round and move over to the bonus round. And before we pause the recording here, what we'll do is I'll show you guys the bonus round stuff. So we're gonna go to bonus round, and your challenge for today in the bonus round is, will it fit? So so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna see.
That's what she said.
I knew. Here's the scenario. You got Ezra in the attack shuttle for some reason, but it is Ezra. And he's making a 3 hard to the left. Will it fit? As in, will it not hit either of those rocks? And hold before you get to your answers and stuff, just hold on, and we'll be back in a little bit. And round points update here with Scott in last with 10 points, Jack with 12, Dan with 13, and our current leader, Rhett, with a big lead of 16. Today's episode is brought to you by me, Duke of Hobbies, Custom Creations. Yeah, I have a store on Etsy, and I make some really cool 3D printed stuff and custom CNC work. So if you would like to check out some of that, or even purchase yourself some, please check out DH Custom Creations, Duke of Hobbies, Custom Creations. Alright, and we are back with Around the Board. So, contestants for today, Rhett, Jack, Dan, and Scott. I need answers. Will it fit? Yes or no? The 3 hard to the left.
It fits all day, every day.
All right.
Not on your life.
Okay, Jack. All right, Dan.
Hard no.
Ooh, PG-13 saying no. Scott.
I think it fits fine. I think I'd be very pissed if I were doing that with a droid.
All right, well, stop bringing up your droids, Roger.
If it's a droid, it fit.
That is also what she said.
And the answer is, it does. It will clear. So, Rhett and Scott, congratulations. You each are getting a couple bonus points here. So.
Yeah, because Rhett needed bonus points.
Hey, he's brought some pretty good discussion. Now, we are going to do round 2 in 3, 2, 1, which is which obstacles to take. Let me make sure the clock. Okay, yeah. So, Dan, or Jack, actually, since you're in last right now, can you take it away?
All right. Well, I like big rocks, and I cannot lie. However, that is a mistake. Against Nantexes, which we just discussed, and against droids, rocks definitely benefit the opponent. Your opponent is going to bring 3 rocks if they're running one of those lists. You need to bring something else. So the important thing to me is that you bring the rocks you're comfortable with. You bring the rocks that bring you luck. So I bring the finger.
Yeah, for me, it's about bringing the biggest obstacles possible. Unless there's like a specific reason why my list needs a specific kind of obstacle, I'm just going for board size because I want them to have as much impact on the game as possible. I am confident that in most of my matches, I am going to be able to handle the rocks, fine. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on obstacles. So the bigger they are, the more space they take up, the more my opponent has to deal with them.
Yeah, but you are an ace player. Typically, are you not taking gas clouds at all?
I usually take 1 gas cloud these days. I mean, these days in quotes, but no, I usually take 2 rocks and a gas cloud.
Okay. All right.
I agree with Rhett on the size. I want to control the board size, and I use the same 3 obstacles in almost every one of my games. The 2 largest asteroid and the largest debris cloud. Now, I flew a lot of droids, so that made sense because I can park on them. But since I use the same 3, I'm very well aware of when I'm flying near those, exactly how my ship's going to land. So consistency and knowing the size and placement of both where your ships are going to be and the obstacles you place, I think that's key of knowing that. And if you can do that with taking up as much board space as possible, you're really limiting your opponents that might not have that same knowledge and skill.
I mean, it really depends, because yes, big rocks take up more board, and that's great for some lists. But the key here is really, how do the obstacles benefit your list? So, sure, if you're flying a couple of small, independently flying aces, big rocks are great. If you're flying big, chunky, large base ships, you want small debris or small rocks or gas clouds, something that you don't mind running over necessarily. And this is
Unless
sort
you're
of
running a Shadowcaster.
Well, again, yes. Calling your rocks, calling your debris, calling your obstacles for the list you have. So yes, Scott, if you're bringing droids, you're bringing the biggest goddamn debris you can bring. Rhett, you're bringing aces. You're bringing things that narrow the lanes for everyone else so that you can channel them into a certain lane. If I'm bringing Boba, which, let's be honest, it's me, I'm probably bringing Boba, I want as many of your ships in one area as possible. So I actually want smaller debris that I don't care so much about flying over, so that I can ram into you. Sure, if I've got a totally passive modded Boba, Fearless Maul, I can land on a debris, be stressed, not care, and if I'm at range 1 of your whole list, awesome.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have a larger debris then? Because you still don't care, but that larger debris could limit your opponent's options.
It can, but I don't necessarily want to. I want them as close to each other as possible. The larger debris is going to channel them into smaller lanes. So if there's more board space, they're more likely to be closer together.
I don't know. That doesn't hold a lot of water for me. It seems like by having smaller debris, you just give your opponent more options.
Yeah, I'd barrel roll and move out and spread out if I knew that would be beneficial, and larger obstacles would most likely stop me from taking those, either because I'd hit them or it really hinders my next move.
And there's a lot of what we're talking about here goes down to placement too. It's not just how much you're taking up on the table. It's how you're taking that space up.
Very true.
Yeah, it's just not the obstacles. That's entirely correct. It's how you place them, because you could have any obstacle out there. If you place it right, it's still going to be a huge detriment to your opponent.
Yeah, it's like, so the biggest
Hold
No,
on,
no,
Dan,
sorry.
Hold on,
Let
hold
me.
on, Dan. Yeah, let Jack go. Let Jack go because he was about to.
Oh no, I'm
No, goddammit. What I was going to say.
no, I'm gonna go, Dan. You know what? I'm gonna go because I'm gonna
Okay.
support you.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you and say that if you have a wider open area, if you have half the board to move on, you're still going to want your ships to be close together. You want all of your fire on one spot. So your goal is to keep, if you're flying for a 4-ship squad, you want to keep them together. If you have to split someone off because there's a rock in the way, now they're split up, now they're maneuvering individually, that actually, as the opponent, would benefit a ship coming in. And if you want all your opponent's ships to be together, you want to encourage them to fly their group as a squad.
But it still gives them more flexibility to react to what you're flying. If you're flying Boba, then maybe I do want my force fragmented and all taking shots from different directions. Like you're not restricting my options. You're just giving me the opportunity to make a mistake.
No, I'm baiting you. That's the difference. I'm baiting. Obviously, this is a game where I want to draw my opponent into making mistakes. Yes, you can barrel roll out. You can do all of these things, but I'm giving you the opportunity to make more mistakes.
Yeah, but when you're flying against Rhett, he's going to be flying Soontir, and let's be fair.
And it doesn't matter how big my rocks are.
Yeah,
I'm not bringing a rock to counter Rhett flying Soontir. There is no rock in the game that does that.
Yeah, or placement with him and Soontir.
Right.
And
what I'm bringing is a rock to counter somebody bringing Focho. I'm bringing rocks to counter somebody bringing droids. So if I bring the mustache, that little tiny, long, squiggly asteroid or debris, which it's so hard to put a droid on that, but I still get the benefit of it being a debris and not a gas cloud. Yeah. And I think it's worth circling around here. None of us said bring gas clouds for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised because we just talked about Maytag. So go ahead, Jack. Take us from here.
Gas clouds for aces. I feel gas clouds are actually the right choice. I don't like them. It feels like easy mode to me. But I mean,
I agree.
I think their changes to gas clouds have helped that easy mode. I would have never.
It's a strain. It's not anything I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, but it's something instead of nothing like it used to be. Yeah. And that was one of the reasons I never took a gas cloud, was because it was like easy mode, as you said.
Hold on, Rhett.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rhett. Go ahead.
Every time that I have flown against somebody who brought gas clouds, they helped me more than they helped them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to help your lists, absolutely. Your aces are
really have the impact that you think they're going to have when you put them in your list.
I think the better the person you're playing against, the less useful gas clouds are going to be for you, because they're going to take more advantage of them than you will be able to.
Agreed. And that's sort of...
I don't know about that one, though. I don't know. You can still use them to your advantage. But, okay, go, Scott. I want a little more emphasis on that real quick.
Well, if you're the lower tier player in that situation and you're playing against, like, let's say Rhett's going to have take better advantage of those gas clouds than you ever could.
Okay.
And that's like putting something out inherently against you.
Okay. All right, Dan.
I think gas clouds are there, and they have a role in the game. They have one role, and that is specific counterplay to droids. Mm-hmm. Full stop. Like,
yes.
They're not even necessarily specific counterplay to tractors, because we talked about in the previous round that was supposed to be the changes to the tractor mechanic itself. So the gas cloud exists to deny obstacles to droid players. Full stop.
Jack, take it. Finish this off.
Everything that we've said is probably wrong. But yes, gas clouds are easy mode. It's like taking a part of the game, a core set of the game, and setting it aside and saying, I'm not going to worry about that. every time I've seen someone bring 3 gas clouds to the table, I've been reasonably confident that either they were absolutely afraid of droids or I was going to be able to outfly them. That being said, the finger is the best obstacle out there.
All right, that was it. I gave you a little extra couple seconds there, but
I saw.
I did, but it was worth it because I did agree with that too, and I think you made some valid points about the gas clouds at the end there. All right, well, that is the end of round 2, and the score is actually Jack 36, taking the lead over Dan with 35, Scott with 34, and Rhett with 33. Had a big lead. That was an interesting, guys. That was awesome to go to.
Well,
so,
the reason that everybody overtook me at the end there was because you gave everybody a last word.
It's all you got to speak up then, right? No, I'm just joking. You did. All right, but Jack, you are the winner. Here's your 2 minutes. Start now.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting to have 2 minutes to talk, so I didn't have anything ready for that. So I'll just go back to what I had on Sunfec. And the ace is there having the Nantex had an oversized impact for a ship that we don't see in play a lot. If you look at how many players have brought passive sensor Vader, medium and large base ships, things that you wouldn't normally see, you wouldn't have seen in play before Sunfec, are now in play. Passive sensor Vader is great against one other thing. Vader that doesn't have passive sensor and has a bigger bit, or another I6 that has a bigger bit. And it's massively useful against someone like Sunfec because he moves you out of your shot. He hits you with the tractor beam, rolls you out. He doesn't manage to put you on an obstacle. Vader then passives, does his shenanigans, gets his shot off anyhow because it's Vader. But all these things that we've seen that are counters to an I6 that can move you at the end of activation. End of activation? Yeah. It's just the Nantex had a massively outsized footprint for the reality of the ship. And I don't see a way around it. So I don't see a way that we can go back to pre-Nantex other than what they've done with hyperspace and not have it be an option. But that is all I've got to say. I'm sure that wasn't 2 minutes. If you need me to keep talking for 2 minutes, I can keep talking for 2 minutes, but it's not going to be quality content.
I feel like this talk for 2 minutes thing is actually a punishment, not a reward.
Why do you think I said shit when I saw it for the extra point?
Oh, all right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here for Around the Board. I hope you guys enjoyed being on here, and I really appreciate it too. So, I think we had some pretty good, interesting discussions on these two topics, and maybe we'll see others and bring these back. And maybe Jack, you got the first win, so congrats, and thanks for watching.